Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's a dead giveaway that someone is not a good person? Nothing is ever their fault. My borderline narcissistic mom used to accuse me of this when I was a kid. She was consistently the one never taking any blame for anything. But when I'd call her out on it, this would be her retort. Projecting her, nothing's ever my fault, behavior onto me. As a kid, you're simply not capable of figuring out how to counter that. This shit fucked with me so badly. My mom is still blaming me for my dad leaving when I was an infant. Never mind that I had a relationship with my dad, that he's dead now, and the reasons for him leaving are pretty apparent to anyone that knows my mom. She refuses to acknowledge anything her fault. Never once brings up the 18 years of child support, or the house he left her. All I hear is how she's a victim and he did nothing and was an evil man who left her for no reason. Fucking 40 years later it's like her favorite topic. Edit. For those curious. He left because she was forcing a conversion to Judaism on him. Including adult circumcision and all. He's a theist and doesn't really give a fuck and never did. The rest of the family knew he wasn't Jewish and didn't care. But my mom wouldn't take no for an answer. They attempted therapy. But even the therapist told my dad there was no way to resolve this and that leaving was probably the only reasonable choice he had. Although you'll never hear my mom admit her part of driving him away. And refusing to accept him for who he was. She made the my way or the highway demands. He chose the highway. Edit 2. https://www.reddit.com/r/raisedfornarcissists/ When they cannot bring themselves to celebrate someone else's success. I had a friend like this. She was nice and seemed to like me. Took me quite some time to figure out the odd thing that was missing in our relationship. She couldn't be happy for me. Not even a little, yeah, good for you. Or something like that. Just radio silence. We split ways. My dad treats every success as a contest. It's exhausting. They remember you are their friend only when they need something from you. I cut a lot of people off like that when I realized they only hit me up when they needed me. Hey bro, you still have your truck? Need some help moving something this weekend? Nah, you ain't talked to me in 5 months, go get a U-Haul. Edit. More context for those asking. Yes, attempts were made on my side many times to hang out prior to this. It was more of a build-up of BS over time that led me to just cutting them off. I had a friend like that in high school. Would only ever hit me up when he needed a ride. I said no like 2 times. And stopped reaching out to them ever. And the problem solved itself. I didn't need to cut him off. They stopped being a friend when I stopped being a pushover. It's always about them. They're always the hero or always the victim in their stories. Can't take criticism but probably dish it out to everyone else. They're never wrong. They never apologize. Or their apology is them just listing out problems about other people. The classic, I'm sorry that you have a problem with my actions, instead of, I'm sorry I did something wrong. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Cool rolls away in despair. If they brag about how they pulled a fast one on other people. As if to say how smart, slick they are and everyone else is stupid. A former friend was a habitual liar. I thought he had a mental disorder or something because of it. Or he thought he needed to impress me with his lies so we could be friends. Then one day he told me he's such a good liar and he's gotten so many things in life because he lies. He instantly got cut off. No contact for a year until I saw him recently at a mutual party. And still barely gave him the time of day. He was always using me. Good riddance. This is an indication not of having pants ablaze, but also of low intelligence. I guess at least a true conman does not reveal that they are a conman. Or do they? I guess a subtle one is them treating you differently in public versus how they treat you privately. These can both go either way. I've been having this issue with a friend. Nice one-on-one. Will help out when he can. But absolutely trashes me in front of others. Especially women. Call him out. If they listen and are willing to change, give them a chance to do so. If they refuse to acknowledge the problem and aren't willing to change, then fuck them. They're no friend. Treating people well only if they can benefit from them in some way. If they treat you well, but treat random people like shit, they aren't good people. And they'll treat you like shit too if you ever stop being of use to them. Some shitty people will treat you nice without expecting anything from you just because you are one of them. They won't treat people whom they don't consider one of them nice though. They constantly say or do things where their only justification for doing so is, it was just a joke, when called out on it. Ah yes, the Schrodinger's douchebag. They decide if the offensive or rude thing they say is a joke based on the audience's response. A lot of times they'll straight up tell you. Anybody who gleefully tells you, I'm such an asshole, or, I'm such a bitch, is usually not joking. Even if they say it while laughing. I'm such a bitch. They call this prophecy. More like foreshadowing. When telling you about issues in their life and everything is everyone else's fault, no accountability. If all their exes are crazy, they're crazy. My favorite version of that: if you smell shit anywhere you go, check under your own shoe. How someone treats another person based on their job title. Anyone who treats a server, maid, garbage person, etc. like crap is just telling the world how much a piece they are. As a truck driver, I get looked down upon by some. Most of the time it doesn't bother me because of how much I get paid. I don't have a college degree and I make a decent chunk of change. I feel like I made a good decision and nobody is going to take that from me. When it does bother me is when I'm accused of being stupid. I get the whole thought process of why we're looked down on. I don't, however, get why some think we're all stupid. The trucking industry has just as many idiots as any other industry, but we aren't defined by them. The reason they're so obvious as opposed to other industries is because they're driving huge trucks. My boyfriend is a truck driver. I am an accountant. He constantly refers to himself as just a dumb truck driver. It infuriates me when he does that. Just because I chose a profession that required a college degree does not mean I am smarter than him. Sure, I may be better with financial statements and taxes than he is. But I could never do what he does. Not to mention, he's an avid hunter and outdoorsman. Should the zombie apocalypse ever happen, I know I'll survive because I have him. I wouldn't know how to hunt lattes rolling on the floor laughing. Everyone is smart and skilled in their own way, and no one's job makes them more or less important than anyone else. Even without the boyfriend in my life, I'm grateful for every last one of you drivers. You sacrifice your time away from your home and loved ones to make sure this country stays stocked and running. Watch out for the assholes on the road and safe travels, heart. ETA. Thanks for all the upvotes and awards. You're all so sweet. Edited for typo.